They say life doesn't warn you before it changes. It just happens quietly, suddenly, and by the time you realize it, you're already standing in a version of your life you never planned for. For Ethan Walker, life had gone quiet a long time ago. Not the peaceful kind of quiet. Not the silence of a calm morning or a satisfied evening. This was the kind of silence that followed loss, the kind that stayed even when rooms were full, even when meetings were loud, even when success screamed his name. Ethan was 38 years old, the CEO of one of Chicago's fastest-growing real estate firms, and a single father to a 7-year-old boy named Noah. People admired him, respected him, feared him sometimes, but no one truly knew him. 3 years earlier, Ethan's wife Rachel had died in a car accident on a snowy highway while driving home from work. One moment, she was alive, sending him a voice note about dinner. The next, she was gone just like that. Since then, Ethan had learned how to function without feeling. He woke up early, went to work, signed deals worth millions, picked Noah up from school, read him bedtime stories with a steady voice, turned off the lights, and sat alone in the dark. Love was something that belonged to another lifetime. On a chilly Friday evening, Ethan found himself sitting in an upscale downtown restaurant, staring at a glass of untouched water. He didn't even remember agreeing to this. A blind date, set up by his older sister, who insisted that Noah needs to see his father smile again. Ethan had almost canceled.
Almost!
The restaurant was warm, glowing with golden lights. Soft jazz played in the background. Men in tailored suits and women in elegant dresses filled the room with polished laughter. Ethan checked his watch. She was late. Just as he was about to stand up, the entrance door opened, and the room shifted. The woman who stepped inside did not belong to that world. Her coat was thin, clearly old. Her dress simple, slightly faded. Her shoes were worn at the edge, as if they had walked many long miles. The whispers started immediately. Ethan noticed the way heads turned, the way eyes judged. The hostess hesitated, unsure whether to approach her, but the woman didn't look lost. She scanned the room once, and then her gaze landed on Ethan. For a brief second, fear crossed her face. Her name was Lily Carter. She almost turned around. Almost, but then she took a breath and walked toward his table. Ethan stood up without thinking. He pulled out a chair. "Hi," he said calmly. "I'm Ethan." Her voice was soft when she replied. "Lily, I'm sorry I'm late." She sat down carefully, as if afraid to take up too much space around them. Curiosity turned into judgment. But Ethan didn't look away. He noticed her eyes. First tired, yes, but honest. Eyes that had seen disappointment and survived it. They sat in silence for a moment. Then Ethan spoke. "Did you have trouble finding the place?" Lily nodded slightly. "I don't come downtown much." There was number apology in her tone. No excuses, just truth. Something about that disarmed him. They ordered food. Ethan didn't ask about her clothes, didn't comment on her appearance. Instead, he asked about her favorite book. Lily blinked, surprised. "No one's asked me that in a long time," she admitted. She told him about novels she used to read at the public library, about how she loved stories where broken people found quiet happiness. As she spoke, her hands trembled slightly. Ethan listened, really listened, for the first time in years. He wasn't thinking about numbers, deadlines, or loss. He was present. The waiter returned clearly uncomfortable. Later, when Lily stepped away to use the restroom, the waiter leaned in and whispered, "Sir, are you sure this is your guest?" Ethan's expression hardened. "Yes," he said. "Is there a problem?" The waiter hesitated. "It's just that she's exactly where she's meant to be." Ethan interrupted calmly. That was the end of the conversation. When Lily returned, she noticed something had changed. "Did I do something wrong?" she asked quietly. Ethan shook his head. "No, not at all." For the rest of the evening, the world faded away. Two strangers shared pieces of themselves. Lily spoke about losing her mother to illness, about working multiple jobs, about dreams she had once believed in and buried. Ethan spoke about Noah, about grief, about learning how to exist without joy. When dinner ended, rain had started falling outside. Ethan walked her to the door. "I'm sorry," Lily said suddenly. "I know I don't really fit in places like this." Ethan looked at her. "You don't need to fit anywhere," he said. "You just need to be." She didn't know why those words made her eyes burn. Days passed. Ethan found himself thinking about Lily more than he expected. Not romantically at first, just quietly. He wondered if she'd eaten that day, if she was warm, if she smiled. Finally, he called her. They met again, this time at a small cafe near her neighborhood. No suits, no luxury, just coffee and conversation. Lily laughed. More there over time, their connection deepened. Ethord introduced her to Noah. He was nervous, But Noah took Lily's hand without hesitation. She's nice, Noah whispered later. She looks sad, like you. That night, Ethan cried for the first time in years, not from pain, but from recognition. But everyone approved. At work, rumors started spreading. Board members whispered about the CEO's choices. She's not from our world, one partner warned. Ethan replied simply, maybe our world needs fixing. Lily, meanwhile, struggled with insecurity. She tried pulling away. I don't belong in your life, she said one evening. I'll only hold you back. Ethan found her standing outside her apartment in the rain. You think value is measured by comfort, he said softly, but you have something most people don't. Heart. Slowly, Lily began rebuilding her life. She found a job on her own, worked hard, earned respect. Ethan watched her grow not as someone he rescued, but as someone who stood on her own. The turning point came at a charity event. A wealthy donor mocked Lily publicly. The room froze. Ethan stood up. She is the reason my son believes in kindness again, he said. She is the reason I wake up feeling human. And if that offends you, there's the door. No one spoke after that. Years later, Ethan brought Lily back to the same restaurant. This time, she wore a simple dress, not expensive, but confident. Ethan knelt. You taught me that love doesn't arrive loudly, he said. It arrives quietly and stays. Tears fell as she said yes, because sometimes love doesn't save you. Sometimes it reminds you that you were worth saving all along.